as we are all accessing it through remotely from our respective places, and the web page, when you reach here, www.scconline.com, in this web page you will be first seeing this login area, and when you click on this login area, it should IP login should appear in that. Usually when you log in, traditionally it shows only user login when you are using a dynamic IP or you are accessing it, outside the campus. But through the remote access, you'll be able to, you should get this IP login, and then only you will be able to log in into the software. Now, if you've already registered with the software, which has to be done once in the beginning, then you'll simply enter your registered email ID. For the newcomers, you have to click on the register here link at the bottom. Enter your email ID as to be registered with the software. Put your full name over here and click on register and login. And then after that, the next screen, it will ask you which year you are graduating. You can enter that, and then you are registered. So it's a one-time process. So next time around, you don't have to register. You have to simply enter your registered email ID and click on the login now, which will take you inside the software, into the software, and we can now browse through the databases. Just before we begin, let me just show you one more thing here, what all we are covering, though most of you will be aware, but for the sake of information to all, what we have in this data coverage section, if you can see on the screen, there is a web edition option. I click on, you get to see the Supreme Court judgments from 1950 till date. Apart from that, we have the Federal Court and the Privy Council from 1836 till 1949. Then also we have the entire high courts. Apart from the high courts, we have some select few district courts also available. Those are the landmark judgments. Then historical courts. These are all the courts that are, prior to independence. The provincial courts like Sindh, Awadh, Pepsu, Burma, and all. Then we have the historical courts also, which has a all those provincial, which I was talking about, the historical courts that we have. And then we also have the tribunals and commissions, which comprises of all the tribunals, like you have ITAT, you have CSTAT, you have Competition Commission of India, APTEL, FEMA, GST, and IPAB, and CSTAT, all these DRAT and CLT, these are all available over here. Followed by that, we also have the secondary material, like in the form of primary and secondary materials. We are comprising of two sections. The primary one contains mainly the central acts, the rules, regulations, notifications, circulars, and bills in Parliament. And the secondary material has all the entire reports of commissions and committees and all the Constituent Assembly debates in entirety. Those are available in this on this portal. Then we have legal articles from leading law publishers and leading national law universities and other institutions of repute. So you can read those articles over here. We have treaties, bilateral, multilateral, with the various countries that we have, and historical trials. All the trials, triology is there, like Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Maharaj Nanda Kumar, and Sir Roger case. So that's how we have segregated them. Then policy documents from various departments, government departments, those are also available here. And for also, of course, the Tagore law lectures. When we come to the foreign materials, you have, of course, the UK, the entire England law is there. We have incorporated with Incorporated Council of Law Reporting, that is the publisher of UK, ICLR. So you get to see the 1865 law reports and then weekly law reports and all that. And of course, the rest of the countries' Supreme Court judgments, like Bangladesh, Canada, and all. So let's move ahead with the software now. The first thing that you see while you log in is this dashboard. And this dashboard, which is like a main menu, comprises of 3 sections. The first section is known as Research Plus, and is of blue tiles coloration. And these tools will let you do the legal research, whether in the form of a word search or maybe a sentence or some descriptive kind of query, or it could be very specific like a party name or a citation or maybe act section, etc. So that is the research section. Then we have this My Library section. In the My Library section, as you have a library in your university and college in the form of physical library, here you have an e-library. So all these topics that you see in these red tiles, whichever you choose, you can click and view the document under that topic or the title. Then we also kept moot court resources for you, which you can use for your preparation for the moot courts. The third section, that is the links, this charcoal gray color. It gives you access to some external websites, as the name suggests. So main focus will be on these first two sections, that is research plus and minor. Now, let me just start with one option here in the My Library section, which is browse curated topics. Now, in this pandemic, we introduced this, we worked on this, and it contains the entire, topics of in the law, main topics which we have curated, which our expert editorial team has curated, like constitutional law, public law, corporate commercial, intellectual property, taxation, etc. You can see 10-12 topics listed over here. Now, if I suppose want to look for one on topic on intellectual property, I'll just click on that topic, and the next screen will show me the categories under intellectual property, whether it is copyright, design, or maybe patents or trademarks. I'll just opt for patents, for example. Now you will get to see various subtitles under it. First is the statutory law. Then you have the rules and regulations, followed by case laws, treaties, conventions, committee reports, as well as articles. So all these are related to patents, right? Now, what is the difference here, or what is so unique about this feature is that when you click on, say, for example, statutory law, you will get to see the Principal Act, that is on patents, of course. Then you will also get to see Atomic Energy Act, Biological Diversity Acts, then some designs and drug and cosmetic acts, and emblems and names. Income tax acts also 4 or 5 are listed over here, and Sales of Goods Act, etc. So different sections from other acts are also listed over here. They have been curated by our expert editorial team, and these all have some relation to the patents law. Now, that is one part that we have curated. Similarly, we have curated the rest of the sections also, segments also, like rules and regulations. You get to see the patent rules, of course, but you also see the IPAB, Ministry of Commerce and Industry Patent Office, as well as some appeals and applications to the IP. Coming to the case law, again, you will find very few or handful of judgments which are handpicked by our editorial team, and as per their decision, these are the most important ones falling under patents law. So if I click on any one of the titles, I'll get to see the entire text of that particular digest note or a judgment, right? Similar goes the case with the rest of the categories, whether it is a treaties or conventions. I can just simply expand it and see. So you get treaties and conventions from various authorities like Paris Convention, Patent Corporation Treaty, etc. WIPO is there, TRIPS, etc. Followed by that, you have some committee reports also. Iyengar committee report is there, and of course the articles, various articles are there on patents law. So all this information is curated for you and kept at one place. So that is what this curated topic is all about. Now, let's move to the research plus section, because traditionally all legal research will mostly happen over there. And to begin with, we'll start with the word search. Now, as you do your legal research, you must have also used some other softwares which are paid, softwares which are free, of course, like maybe you have Google search, you have various other free search engines like Wakil number one, etc. So there you do the search differently. Rather, you can do the same search here, but you will obviously get different what you call results in both these search engines. The reasons are many. Since free portals are having many verticals, so they will not cater to only law, they cater to various other segments. Now over here in SCC, you will typically you will not go by the traditional way of free search engine where you enter each and every description over here. So suppose if I'm looking for say latest judgments on Supreme Court of India from Supreme Court of India on defamation, what I'll do is I'll simply type defamation over here. I'll not enter the rest of the things because the software is such that it will be able to filter out the database. It will filter out various high courts or Supreme Court, what all I want. So I'll just simply start the search like this. I'll go type the keyword that was defamation, and followed by that I'll get the results. Now results will always be appearing in this format. That is the 3-column now format. The first column gives me all results, shows me all results, 9,409 results. Then it is showing me digest notes. That is what you call the summary part, or this is also called by the name law points, or maybe head notes, right? So different names are given to it. These are all editorial work that we have done. And followed by that, you see judgments, then you see acts and statutes pertaining to defamation, bills in parliament, rules, regulations, notifications, articles, etc. So wherever this defamation is being discussed, all those databases it has pulled up. Now that is the all results section, and in the second column you get to see the result list, which comprises of a mix of all. As you can notice over here, the first 3 are Supreme Court judgments, then followed by that the 4th one is an article. So you get the mix of all these depending on the relevance as of now. But if I want to see the latest, I can sort it also. So the 2 things that we can incorporate here is that we can segregate the court. I'll expand this judgment section. I can see Supreme Court and High Court and all. So wherever I move my cursor, this only follows. So when I put this cursor in front of Supreme Court and I click on this only, it will automatically deselect the rest of the databases and only show me the Supreme Court cases in the second column. Now from here, these 255 judgments I want to now sort by. I'll use this sort by option over here. There are 4 or 5 options over here. You can make it alphabetically, A to Z, Z to 8, etc. You can also search. Sometimes you're interested in seeing the largest quorum strength first, case law. But at the moment, we'll select latest judgment. So the moment I clicked on latest, so it gave me the latest one, that is of 25th of March 21. On defamation is in front of me. That's how we apply the filter and how we do the sorting in SCC. Now, to move back to the dashboard from any of the screens, you can simply click on the first icon on top known as dashboard. You'll get me back to the dashboard. Now I click on once again on word search. This being a very simple search, let's move on to some other search where I'm searching for a phrase. Now, to search a phrase in SCC, say let me take this right to health. If I just type it like this and start the search, it will definitely give me the judgments on right to health, but it will also give me judgments where right is in one para, maybe right to health, and health right to freedom of speech, maybe in one para in some other context, and health in some other context, right? So I don't want that. I want to this to be searched together as a single word. So I'll put it in double inverted commas. So whenever you have a phrase, you should always put it in double inverted commas. Number one. Now from this, actually I was looking for a in entirety. I was looking for one judgments on right to health, where we were looking for the one particular segment of people who are below the poverty line, and particularly the tribal ones. So again, this all descriptive query in single go. I need not put it in one go. I'll just break it into parts. So right to health, and now I go to the next one, that is below poverty line. Now I'll enter this again in where I'll enter it just above the all results, known as search within search. So what it is doing is it's searching now within those 989 results that I have. It's searching for this phrase here, which is below poverty line. Now, wait for a while. It's just slow down a bit. Just one sec. Sometimes it does slow down.
You can just take a while, or
I think it's now working. It's come back. So poverty line or below poverty line, I have entered in this search within search results. So it will search within those 1,000 odd results and further narrow it down. So the second step goes in. So from 989, of course, it has reduced to 86. Now from here, I was looking for a particular segment like tribal. I can enter that also. So this way you can keep on narrowing down your search. And at any given point of time, if you want to make any modification, change a particular step, which you can't do in a search where you are entering the entire sentence in a one go, single shot, you'll have to reframe the entire query. Whereas here you can just remove the step by clicking on the cross button associated with that step, and it will remove that one for you. And then the modified step can be entered in the search within search results. Now, let me just move back to the dashboard. So these were two simple searches, phrase search or maybe a word search. But what if I have a very descriptive kind of a query, and that query I want to search for. Now here again is the catch. The difference between say Google search and SCC is in that if you enter an entire sentence of say comprising of 8, 9, 10 words, out of those even 4 or 5 are appearing, it will give you results on the basis of that. And you might have noticed that on the bottom of each result, it shows those striked out words which are not matching, but the rest it's giving anyway. But in SCC is the other way. Even if a single word is not there in the query matching in the judgment in the document, it will skip that. It will not be in the result list. So all of the words should be appearing. Only those judgments only it will give you. So if I'm looking for the judgment where, let me give you an example over here. Like there was a case of indiscipline versus discipline in some educational institution only, where the judge quoted one African proverb, and he said that I cannot define an elephant, but I do recognize one when I see one. So if I start typing like this, I cannot define an elephant, but I do recognize one when I see one. What happens here is that the way I have interpreted this sentence, not necessarily the same way it's written in the judgment by the honorable judge. So even if there's a small deviation, like in place of cannot, it's can't, or maybe in case of this, but I recognize when I see one, do is not there, whatever it is. So it will not give me the result in that judgment in the results, right? So what I'll do is I'll just remove the unnecessary or maybe unwanted words or the common English words that are appearing, like one in this case. Then you have I, when, one. I'll just remove these also, but I do. Main keywords that I find here is like define is one, I cannot also, I'll remove something like this. The moment I do this, there is already a search has been framed over here. Somebody has given, performed a search where it is mentioned, near is mentioned in between these three keywords. Now this near is appearing in caps locks. You have to type it in caps locks, and this is one operator which will help us in our research when we are trying to search for a for these three keywords within a sentence, or you can say nearby, vicinity. So this will search these correlating words in nearby vicinity. How much nearby? If you scroll down, you'll get to see Boolean near setting means 10 words. So it will search within 10 words, these three words. And I can increase this range from 10 to 20 or reduce it to less than 10, maybe 5 or so. Let me keep it as it is by default and click on the start search. Just one second. Oh God. I think I'm not sure about this.
You get your laptop charger. We'll take it from here.
Yeah,
So
just one second.
I'll share my screen. No worries.
No, I think it's on. It's on. It's on. I think Chetan. So let me just click on the search.
I guess you just forgot to switch on the button, I believe.
Yeah. Just. Yeah, I got it. So what we have on the screen now, as you can see in the second column, you can see this Bombay High Court judgment over here. And when I see the text of this judgment, which is being displayed on the third column, I click on this, go to next highlight, and it will jump to that particular line in the judgment where these words are appearing. And as you can see here, it's being mentioned. On another occasion, I cannot define an elephant, but I do recognize when I see. So this is the proximity search, as we can call it, in the form of near operator. Similarly, we have a couple of more operators over here. That is in the form of not and or. Now, what's their function? If we talk about or operator, it will search for what you can call synonyms or same meaning words simultaneously, rather than if I am suppose I am looking for judgments on suo motu. This suo motu is also mentioned as suo motu in which is also a correct proposition in case laws. So what I'll do first thing is that I'll put these two in the double inverted commas, so that they are searched as a phrase, a single word, and in between I'll type the or operator in caps locks. Again, all the operators have to be in capital letters. And what this will do, it will search twice internally. First for this combination of MOTU, and then the next time around MOTU. So either of these. So you can have 3, 4, 5 synonyms. In between you put the OR operator, and it will take care of that in one go, in one search here itself. So that is what the OR operator does. Now, apart from this, you here the results are here in the second column. You can see the case law Supreme Court number 3. Let's talk about suo motu and so.
We lost your voice. Sena, are you there? Chetan sir, are you in the call?
Can you share the screen, Mohit? Mohit?
China, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. And can you share the screen as of now? Because my machine has got some problem. It's in the restart mode. So
Yes,
you'll
sir.
have to share your screen and start from where I had left. That was this Boolean
Yes.
operator we were talking about. The not operator we need to now,
Yes, sir, we will
uh,
get-
not operator has to be example on or this not operator. If you can start, my machine is booting. So if you can
So
share the
somehow
screen and
the screen sharing option is not working.
type
Like
out.
Mahmoda.
Oh,
So, sir, is screen sharing option enabled at your
screen sharing is enabled. I have you are also
Okay, okay, what happened?
as a host you are there. I mean, actually, my machine some problem was there. I told
no
Mohit to
problem?
just
No,
share the screen. I think
no,
it's
no,
not
we are
able.
just fine. Just a second.
Mohit, are you able to share your screen or should I do that?
Uh, Sir, I request you if you can do it.
Okay, done.
I'm not getting the option right.
No worries.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so we were at this Boolean operator, and if you can, Chetan, go to this word search,
Mhm.
and in that we'll do the not operator search.
Okay.
We have already done the
Yeah.
or operator search. So we'll looking for say judgments on compensation. So for that, I'll type the main keyword that is compensation, but in that I don't
Mhm.
want the cases on say medical negligence or maybe medical we can type, and
Sure.
this way it'll just give me judgments on compensation but not due to say medical negligence. So that is how we'll keep out
Yeah.
this medical out
Yes.
of the results.
Absolutely. And just to ensure that this is not being searched, so you can quickly do a sub search of medical, and this shouldn't just, yeah, that's what we were expecting. No results found because nothing with the word term medical was searched in the first search. So this ensures that what is needs to be excluded. I think someone's mic is.
Chetan, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I believe we should ask from the students whether they can hear us because in the participants list it is showing calling. Just after their name, it is showing calling option.
No, which is okay. I think someone has joined from two devices. One of us. Does it say calling? It doesn't say calling. Where does it say calling?
So on my screen, it is showing on each and every student name is calling. So
No,
I don't
Mohit,
know
I think
whether they are
just
able
do
to hear us or not.
just do one thing. You just rejoin this meeting once.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So just to ensure that everyone can hear us, could you just give us a go ahead? Anyone can put in the chat or just raise your
Yes,
hand.
sir.
Great. Thank you so much for the confirmation. So we were talking about this. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. So probably it was a error at Mohit's end. Mohit will rejoin us. So we searched. Now what Mr. Rana was saying was absolutely right. That we
Right.
searched for the word compensation, and then we said not medical. What is going to happen is it's going to ensure that second word is not being searched. But if you just write the word compensation and you're not telling the software what you do not want, it's going to give you anything and everything which is coming with compensation. So yeah, Mr. Raina.
Yes, Chetan.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, just
I joined in late, so I'm not really sure what all has been covered.
no,
Otherwise,
no, I'll tell you because my machine gives some trouble. So we have started with the my library and shown only curated
so
topics.
you tell me what needs to be covered. I will take the example.
Yeah. Please. Apart from this word search, and then we can move on to the rest of the options in the research section. We have not touched any of those as of now.
Okay. So in the word search itself, I think there's one more aspect. See, a lot of you would talk about. Let me just switch on my video as well. You should know who I'm speaking to at least. There should be a face to the voice. So yes, hi everyone. My apologies. I came in a bit late. I was in another session. So we all talk about that a judgment is overruled and judgment has been struck down. We will give you an example of that as well. We will give you an example of how we can find a judgment is overruled or not. I will just get to that after this example. But there's another element which a lot of us, get affected by. But we are always in that, dilemma that how can we figure this thing out? And what am I referring to is when a Supreme Court judgment comes in and it strikes down a judgment of a lower court. Now, a Supreme Court judgment came in on the same facts that a High Court judgment already have the judgment of High Court, and the Supreme Court had a different opinion altogether. Now, if you actually look at it from the top, Supreme Court judgment would have more, would be taken into consideration than compared to a High Court. So that simply means that those judgment of High Courts which have a different opinion or different decision on that same facts, that will not hold the ground. Now, how do you figure it out which all judgments got affected by one one Supreme Court judgment? So let me show it to you. What we are writing is not important. Okay. What we're going to show, the next thing, that will make a lot of sense. Now, let's have a quickly look at what we are talking about. Now, if you see this, it says Manoj Sharma Jadhav was a state of Maharashtra, 2017 judgment, 2013 judgment, 2015 judgment. Now, in 2017 judgment, it says held reverses Manoj Suresh Jadhav versus state of Maharashtra. This by Pradeep Ram versus state of Jharkhand. So this same case went to the Supreme Court. So a lot of you have this thing that how can I figure it out that if the judgment I'm reading right now was challenged in the Supreme Court and the decision of the lower court was upheld, or was it reversed? If it was upheld, good enough, not a problem. You're not missing out on a lot of information. But if it's been reversed, it can backfire. Like in this case, you might be referring a judgment of Bombay High Court. Let's suppose you're in Bombay and you're going to Bombay High Court and you are citing this particular judgment that this is what it is. And your person or the other counsel has done his research pretty well, and he knows that whatever that you're talking about, that particular judgment has been already been reversed by the Supreme Court. He will just simply give you one citation of the Supreme Court or same judgment and say that, my dear friend, you're not even prepared for this case. That's one. Second, sometimes your case doesn't go to the High Court, doesn't go to the Supreme Court from the High Court. It has just been reversed by some other judgment, like in this scenario. That is 2013 judgment. And now in 2019, this was reversed in Saraswati Bai versus Lalita Bai in 2019. And the best part of all these judgments are, you can click on it and you can open the full judgment over here. Now, why am I saying that you need to open the judgment? Why is it required in the first place? It's required because in case you would like, if you think that this case is totally opposite to what you are going to argue in the court, or it's going to be helpful to the other counsel, then that means if this gets reversed, that reverse judgment would be in your favor. That's how it simply works, right? So you need to, if this is not relevant to you, then this judgment would be totally in your favor. So you go there, find those judgments. Okay, so this red exclamation mark, we'll come back to this again. So remember this red exclamation mark, it's on J. It's only on J when it comes to High Court. In Supreme Court, you won't find these because nothing is reversed as such over there. In Supreme Court, things get overruled. right? Because it's directly there. Now let's come back to the dashboards and let's pick up a judgment with a party name search. Now, how do I figure it out if a judgment of Supreme Court has been overruled or not? It doesn't get really, it gets struck down, it gets reversed, but it gets overruled. How can I see that? And in that case, it's very simple. You come over here, you pick up a judgment that you think, that you're looking for. And for that, it'll ask for what is the court name? So my court name is Supreme Court, Federal Court, which jurisdiction is the case belongs to. So you take Supreme Court, you take High Court and all, depending on that. If there's any ambiguity or any dilemma around it, just click on all jurisdiction. What all jurisdiction what I'm going to do is going to search for the party and then you're going to put it in this search in all the courts together. So if I search for the case of, let's say, Golak Nath, right? Or wait a sec, Mr. Raina, have you shown the true printout option?
No, not yet. Not
okay. Yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a judgment which I can show you the. So let's take SP Gupta. Okay, find case. Now we're looking for this very common surname Gupta in all the courts together. I'm not saying that all the cases Gupta are doing a lot of cases of this. Gupta is a very common surname, so that's why it's giving me so many results. Now, second thing I can do is I can either restrict it to only Supreme Court, or I can put the other party name as well. The other party name that I remember was Union of India, so I can write Union, and it doesn't matter. You write Union in between SP Gupta or after or before, doesn't matter. Remember, what matters is do not write the word versus. Don't write V dot, do not write VS dot, don't write those things, okay? Because you're not going to give you any results. It will narrow it down because now Gupta has more, got something, which is, though it's very common, but over here the combination is very rare. We're left with only 8 results. SP Gupta Union of India, I double click on this. It'll open up the full judgment over here. And now, in the digest note, you see 52 points of law. So 52 points of law we'll discuss in this case in one judgment. J, let me zoom in. J is 7. J means a full judgment. 7 means the number of judges were part of the quorum. Then you say D7, D7 and all. So, and now, this first being the judgment, the second, third, and so on and so forth, others are the points of law, the ratio of the case, the head note of the case, the law point of the case. That's all that's been discussed over here. So you can simply come to service laws. You can know that the service law is being discussed. Administrative law in respect to natural justice was being discussed. Constitutional interpretation and other things. All that things was available was discussed over here. Everyone's name is in bold. When anyone's name is in bold, judges, as far as judges are concerned, it simply means that they were the ones who had authored the judgment. Okay. So we can, click on any of this and I will jump to their part of the judgment. So I click on Justice Bhagwati. I will jump to Justice Bhagwati's text of the judgment. Mr. Anna, in the meantime, could you just restart your machine and we can just, take care of this?
Yes, I'm doing that.
Yeah. So then if I want to see Justice Venkataramaya's opinion, I can click on his name. I get to see his opinion, right? And if you see, it's 949th para number. So jumping is easy. Now, second thing that we discussed, that how can I see if a judgment is overruled or not? We saw that in high courts, we can see if the judgment has been reversed or not. What happened in the Supreme Court? Now, we don't really, in Supreme Court, most of the time, I think it's very rare, the entire judgment gets overruled. And it is important for you to understand this thing that I'm going to say in another three or 4 minutes. Saying a judgment is overruled is sometimes, most of the times, 90% of the time is incorrect. I was corrected by a high court judge when I went into his chamber and we were discussing SCC Online. And I said, sir, I'm going to show you if this judgment is overruled or not. He's like, you're going to show me this judgment is overruled or not? And like, yeah. And he said, are you sure the judgment is overruled? I guess, yes, sir, this judgment is overruled. When we went in, there were only 2 points which were overruled in the entire judgment. Saying this, the judgment is overruled, It's just closing the doors on one opportunity. Now let's have a look at this. It says 52 points of law. Till the time all these 52 points of law gets overruled or gets struck down or gets reversed, it is incorrect to say the judgment is overruled. But then why do we say it? We say it because it is really difficult for any one of us to go through one judgment and then read subsequent 12 judgment, where in this case was overruled. Probably it's just one judgment, which was in this case was overruled. You have to read both the cases to figure it out and come to the point that on which point of law this case was overruled. Which is a task, considering this judgment is of 800 pages. Simple thing, what you can do is open the case with the party name or citation, come to sub search, write the word overruled, start search. When you do that, it's gonna filter out only those points of law which have been overruled and not in all the 52 points. It's point number 2, 3, and 4. You click on this. It says overruled in Scholar versus Union of India. And there we have it. The second point that got overruled, this. And you can see it, what all the points were overruled. Article 217, opinion of Chief Justice of India in matter of appointing a High Court judge. And this is talking about power of appointment of judges. And then when appointment of a judge, consideration when appointing a judge of a Supreme Court, appointed or appointment of Chief Justice of India. This was a point which was overruled. And now if you see, it also tells you that though this judgment is of 7 judges, but this point that you're reading right now, Justice Bhagwati's opinion is given over here. Justice Desai's opinion is given over here on this point. This is Venkatramaya's given over here. That means out of 7 judges, only 3 judges spoke on this point of law. Let's take the other one. Justice Venkatramaya's opinion, Pathak's opinion, Justice Desai's, Justice Fazal Ali, Justice Bhagwati. 5 judges' opinion. Had it been other case, you would have to read the full judgment to understand everyone's opinion. But with this concise information, you get to see point-wise analysis on each and every point that was discussed on this case, and everyone's opinion stacked one after another. Yeah. So that being done, you can also, let's say, I remember that SP Gupta is exactly what this is the case I'm looking for. I want to see all the other cases where SP Gupta was cited. How do we do that? I can simply click on this icon, case reference. One click on this, it's going to show me all the judgments where in this case was either referred, relied on, cited, followed, whatever. And there we have the list of all these cases. If you can see, SP Gupta case was explained and relied on in Sunil Sandharia case, 2018. PUCL, SP Gupta versus Union of India, there it is. Along with other cases, they were referred to. You just opened a Pandora box because you started with one case. Now you got all these cases where SP Gupta is cited, but also other cases which have been cited alongside with SP Gupta. That means all these cases and these cases are all working in your favor. So it's just a matter of getting one right judgment, and then the information will keep on flowing with just one click on the other. Yeah. Okay. Now, when you're looking at a judgment, let's open SP Gupta one more time. Now, when you're in this judgment, you can get up 2 kinds of printouts. One printout which is available on Google, that is an internet printout, which is just basically the copy of how the judgment looks like on the internet. The other printout, which makes a lot of sense, is the exact photocopy of the journal, how the judgment was published in the law reports. In that, you need to come on this print option. There are 2 options over here, a TP and a without a TP. That's a non-true print, and true print. You click on true print. Okay, you click on true print. What's going to happen is going to give you the page option. Do you want the full judgment? I said give me 5 pages. That's good enough for me. Print. And there we have it. The exact page-to-page representation of the judgment is available over here. And you can, the citation, the stamping of SCC Online TruePrint, you go to any court, they would know that this judgment is of authentic because it's coming from SCC Online, and they will take it off. You cannot edit it, you cannot do anything over here, and that's because of that thing, people tend to rely on it a lot than to an internet printout. Yeah. Let's go back. So that being done, so that's a party name search. Something similar we have done. Let's talk about find by citation. Now, in find by citation, you can search with any citation, like provided it's a reputed journal. So you can click on this. You have any citation of ITR or excise law times, accident claims, company cases, any of this, right? You can select one of your choice. Let me take this is all SCC. Let's take AIR, and in AIR, let's say 2020, volume 1. You get this volume index, the entire index of that volume. That first judgment was on page number 1, second on 76, and others. So you can never go wrong with citation. Click on this, get citation, and that's about it. So will it give you AIR judgment? No, it will give you SCC judgment. We don't have a tie-up with AIR. So what we're doing over here is we're giving you equivalent citation. Equivalent citation of AIC, AIR, Criminal Law Journal, and KLT. So that's what is happening. So irrespective of any citation that you have, head to find by citation and you'll be able to get your answers. Yeah. Mr. Raina, have you spoken about the section-wise search in the word search?
No, we've just covered the basic searches.
Okay. So let's come to the find case law by section. If I come over here, this is for the, for anyone who's starting the, research part and you're not really well versed with it, you can come over here. However, I would not a big advocate of this. This is easier to do searches, but the same search you can do it on the word search. But let me start over here. You can write CRPC, start search, the entire CRPC will open up, repealed one, the new ones, everything, right? You can write CPC, you can write IPC, all that will work. But if you're looking for something like Evidence Act, or let's say in a Contract Act, or Arms Act, these are all prefixed with Indian word, Indian Contract Act, Indian Evidence Act, and others. So if you're looking for anything of that sort, which has the word Indian before it, remove the word Indian and start with the second word. Like in this case, I've searched for evidence. Evidence, it'll give me Evidence Act. There it is. I'm moving to section number 27. Double click on this or click on go, whatever suits you, and you'll get your judgments on section 27 of the Evidence Act. There we have it. But just take this number down, 2200, right? Let's try the same search over here. Mr. Anna has already shared the information about the near functionality. So I'm gonna go ahead with that. I'm not gonna repeat what is near and everything. So first thing first, I'm gonna write Evidence Act because that's what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for judgments on Evidence Act. And which section? I'm looking for 27. I can write section 27, it's your choice, but 27 does the same work. So save your keyboard, space. So Evidence Act near 27, start search. Earlier you got the results 2200 because it was looking for the Evidence Act as a principal topic being discussed. But now what you've done is you will get more results, like 5 times what you got in the previous search, is because now Evidence Act, even if it's been discussed under something totally different, which is not even relevant to Evidence Act, but Evidence Act was discussed in some aspect, those judgments will also come over here. Okay. So that's that. Now, for those of you, yesterday we were taking a session for your first and second sem, friends, and they did mention that we cannot do word search right now because there's so many topics that we are not aware of. Yes, we understand, right? But is there a way that we can help you with that? Certainly, there are two ways that we can help you. First, when you start writing, let's say if I write over here, tender, okay, and it says, what are you looking for? Tender what? I say tender offer. So counter offer and tender, invitation to offer tender, what am I looking for? So this kind of information will keep coming up, right? If you, like Mr. Raina was giving an example of compensation. So I'm sure something compensation will also come in. So compensation, what are you looking for? Disabled person compensation rehabilitation act, that's of minor child and compensation, enhancement of compensation in land acquisition. It does gives you some options. But what is more important is to understand the topics that we have in the fraternity. So for that, we go back and we come to find by topic. You click on find by topic. Now in find by topic, what is happening over here? This is the complete list of the topics that we have in our, in our fraternity. Now these topics have been divided into the principal topics and the subtopics. So let's take the first example. Let's take administrative law. Let me zoom in a bit for you. If I click on administrative law, it gives me that under administrative law, there's a judicial review, there's a promissory estoppel, there is public trust doctrine, and ultra vires, whatever. You can choose whatever that you think that is relevant to you. Similarly, you go down and let's take customs with an S, anti-dumping, appeal, classification of goods, classification, duty drawbacks, levy of duty, and others. Now, what I'm talking about is that sometimes you don't remember, you don't know. Forget about the remember right now. We're just starting off with studying law. So this will at least give you the head start. And even if you don't want to go through this, classification by one, you can search it. Let's take this. Let's take industrial dispute. Now, if I search for this, now industrial dispute comes under which topic? It comes under labor law. Okay, good enough. Let's take something which is easy to understand, child custody. Fine topic. Now, child custody comes under conflict of laws and private international laws, and also comes into which is I think expected, that is family and personal law. So you can select any one of this. Now I can give you a surety, irrespective you use this one or this one, the results would be the same. It's not gonna, if you click on this one, it's gonna give you family and personal law cases only. No, it's gonna search for this topic. This topic tree has been made for your relevance to understand that this topic falls under which principal topic. Does it make sense right now to understand the hierarchy of the topics? No. Will it make sense in a couple of years? Absolutely. So you click on this, and then there are two options: search everywhere, search digest notes, search in headings is, I think, something we can leave it right now. Search in heading basically means that wherever the child custody has been discussed as a topic, that will only come. Search everywhere, it can be a passing remark, it can be a topic, it can be a subtopic, whatever. Search and digest note is going to give you the only Supreme Court head notes, nothing else. So if you click on search everywhere and go, now this will work exactly the way the word search was working, but it's more guided. And now if you can see, the digest notes are there, judgments are there, acts, rules, everything's there. And what I was getting in the second search, that was search in head notes, digest notes, it would have given me only 120 results. But in this, I can still get that 120. So why not search with everything? Once you're done with the search, you got your result. Return of child back to the country to which he or she belongs. Direction given to Shilpa Agarwal case, requiring applicant mother to submit a jurisdiction to appropriate court in UK. Now you read about this, you understand what this is being about, and then the further marking is para 13. That means that if this makes sense to you, if you think this case is relevant to you, you should be going to para 13 of this case. And how do you go about it? You simply click on the citation. It'll open the full case. You jump to para 13. What you just read, which was making sense to you, that's what you read over here. This is the same thing what we read over there. And para 13 is mentioned here as well. You can simply click on this hyperlink. It will just take you to the judgment. Oh, sorry, take you to this particular para number. Also, if you can see, it says chronological list of cases cited. This is only, I think there's only one judgment in this because it's a very small judgment. So not a lot of judgment have been cited in this case. There's only one judgment which has been cited in this case. That is Shilpa Agarwal versus Aviral Mittal. So that's, I think that's a similar case. This is the second one, then probably that was the first one, something similar. Now I want to see in what context this case was mentioned in this case. So I can first read the full judgment of this. That's one way of doing it. The other one is I can simply get to the page number. So it says this particular thing was discussed, this particular case was cited on page number 170C D. So 170. So which is 170 page number? This is the 170 page number itself. You come over here and it says by a order dated 9th of December 2009. And this is what they're referring to. Now this makes sense because when you're reading the judgment, wherever this superscript would be given to you, you would now know that okay, this case is this one. So if they're referring to bar, they're again they're saying that as per that order, as per that order, as per that order. So it is, I think it's better you read that order first and then come to this judgment. And for that, simple one click over here. So everything is linked now. So this way, when you're doing a search, you're not losing out any information because if I click on this, it opens up into a different window. I can read about it, make sense, I can continue, or otherwise I'll come back once I'm done with my search. And this judgment looks a bit lengthy as compared to the other one that we're looking at. And if you can see there are other referencing in this one. The judgment was decided on what date? February 2nd, 2010. And let's look at this one. So hardly 2-3 months difference, right? So this way you get to see the entire, progression, anything that has been referred, all the cases that have been cited, head notes. From head notes you get to the paragraphs, and it saves a lot of time because you're not going through the full judgment. Like if you can see on child custody, there's one case, there's another case. Ruchi Manju is the third case. Vikram Veer Vora is the fourth case. If I click on any of this, I will only read this point. After reading this point, if this makes sense, it's good enough. This judgment is done. I don't have to open the full judgment. I read the part of judgment which was related to the child custody. Rest of the points are not relevant to me. I simply move forward. So this way it saves a lot of time, right? Moving to the next search, that is words and phrases. Words and phrases is a simple thing. It's your search for the, meaning of a particular word. So if you want to see a meaning of a particular word, come over here. It's like a dictionary for you. You can come over here, or you can also look for the meaning of any particular word in search as well. If you don't find it over here, search would be your second best option. And over here, any word, right? Let's take corruption. Start search. In the Encyclopedia of Democracy by this is this. The definition is coming from a particular case. The second definition is coming from another case. Third one is coming from what? Now, what is what? What is a Wharton Dictionary of Law? So the earlier two were the definition as it was, dictated by the Lordship. And the third one is the definition from the dictionary, the legal dictionary. Is this a alternative to Black Dictionary of Law? No, it's not. It is, we have this word and phrases book that we have been publishing for the last couple of years. That particular book has been digitalized and uploaded over here. Okay. Mr. Raina, could you please now come in and tell me what needs to be taken care of? I think we have done everything.
Yes, in the this My Library section, I guess acts and barracks were to be covered.
Okay, okay. Nothing has been covered till now over here as well.
Curated topics only.
Okay. So browse acts and rule. Can you share your screen because my laptop will
Yeah, sure,
just
sure.
go
Yeah,
in.
yeah. I'll write,
Yeah,
right.
please.
Just 1 sec.
So we'll be talking about browser acts and rules. Once we get the new screen. Now in browse acts and rules, what's going to happen now? We talked about the curated topics, which Mr. Rana had have covered already. Now in this browser acts and rules, see, you'll be going through a lot of acts, today, tomorrow, in the next year and time in the years to come by. When you're reading a Bear Act, there'll be a lot of times when you're reading a Bear Act, there will be, a curiosity that you want to see that how this, this particular, act or a section was applied in a particular judgment. So in those scenarios, what you can simply do is when you come to browse Bear Acts, it will simply give you a good layout of the entire Bear Act. And then it also gives you a snippets of information that we call as commentaries in a blue color box, which will say that, okay, now you're looking for a judgment, or you're looking for a Bear Act. In the Bear Act, on this point, this is the one important judgment that you would like to, refer to. And that can be done for all the acts. So I think I will just continue with my screen itself. No worries, leave it. So there it is. It says central acts and rules. So you have civil procedure code, and for the commercial dispute, this is another one. Then we have CRPC, Penal Code, Evidence Act, and others. Others are alphabetically arranged, so you can see it. Assuming that most of you would have gone through by Contract Act by now, so I'll take Contract Act and get to the start of the judgment, start of the Bear Act. Now see this. You have these blue color boxes: applicability, gift, void contract. Now, as you go forward, if you can see this blue, these are coming, right? They're coming one by one. So it says acceptance of offer. Acceptance of offer must be communicated of the constitute a binding contract. And internal noting does not constitute a communication. The party name is National Excise Corporation versus Mr. Jadhav. Now, what is this? There might be, if you search of the term acceptance of offer in word search, they might give you 10, 20, 30, probably 100 or 1,000 judgments. But then finding it out which one is that important judgment that you should be starting your search with can become a challenging task. So that task is being taken care of over here. So as per my editorial department of my company, as for them, this is one of the most important judgment on this point of law. You click on this, like we did earlier, this will open up into a different tab altogether. So you can simply go through it. There we are, right? And while you're at it, this is the linkage from the Bear Act to the judgment. It works in a other way as well. It works in vice versa. That is, when you're reading a head note, it says Contract Act Section 3 and 7. Now you remember Contract Act, but you don't remember now what exactly was the language of Section 7. You click on Section 7, only Section 7 of the Contract Act will open up over here. You read about it, get your thing in place, come back. You want to see the entire Contract Act, click on the entire Contract Act. The entire Contract Act will open up in a different window. There is no reason for you, for any such reason that you have to go back, do another search and this and that, not required. You can simply click on it and you're good to go. Okay. So in simple terms, anything that is blue and highlighted, it's clickable and it's it takes you to that particular judgment. If it's citation, judge's name, that means to the judgment and others. Mr. Rana, what else we want to cover?
Yeah. I think we can. Shall I share my screen now?
If it's working, then please.
Yeah, I just tested once or twice. It's right now luckily working. So in this, apart from the browse acts and rules, we can also show the articles as well as the browse secondary material.
I think we should start with the moot court resources first.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's good. I'll just click on this option, the moot courts. So what we have is all the moot courts that have happened with leading national law universities and leading institutions over here. They are all listed over here. So you can see these like MET or KIIT. So you can click on one or any one of the moot courts titles like this, in this case KIIT, and you will see the problem as well as the best team memorial for the both the petitioner as well as the respondent, and of course the winning team for both the sides, petitioner as well as the respondent. So these valuable informations we incorporate here, which are actually this is not from any other source, but the text we key in these documents. And so this takes up quite some time while preparing these moot courts for you. So this will help in the long run for your moot court preparations, as and when you have them.
And even if you're not going to a moot court competition and you really wanted to, so you can also go back and see that how the memo was made, what was the problem discussed, and everything. So that works both ways.
All right. So apart from the moot court competition, of course, as we were talking about, there are sections like articles from leading publishers and leading national law universities. And we also have blogs and collected essays collection. So what all, if you're looking for one particular title, say one on hate speech, I need not go through the entire branch, the entire tree. I can simply filter that one here itself. So I'm looking for one on hate speech. I'll click on the filter, enter that, and I got one from Aligarh Law Journal on hate speech, and so on and so forth, like CalQ and Journal of Indian Law and Society, and so on and so forth. So
could we show the browse one, the browse feature, like completely? Can we just cross this hate speech option?
Yeah.
Sometimes, because sometimes you have some time, but you're not, have something to search for. You like, let me see what information is available to me. Okay. In that scenario, you can go to Law Review Journal and you pick up any journal of your choice. If there's any favorite, any favorite journal that you might have. So let's take Indian Journal of Law and International Affairs. Good enough. Let's take this, click on this. It'll open volume wise. And the first one says crime of aggression. Then the second one talks about satellite data. The third one talks about immunity enjoyed by someone, an ICC decision on oil, something. So this way, when you have nothing on your mind that you're searching for, but you want to upskill yourself with latest information, this browse part comes in handy, right?
Yes.
Let's finish the last one. Yeah. Let's go back to the dashboards. And browse secondary materials will give you access to the bills. Bills, will give you access to the Council Assembly debates. Yes, bills, historical trial, policy documents, and law commission report as well. The thing remains the same. You click on any of this, the Council Assembly debate being the most important out of all over here. You can read the Council Assembly debates in its entirety. You can want to see the reports of commission and committees. So in this, you have various committee reports. One of the most important out of this would be the Law Commission of India report. So Law Commission report comes over here. All the volumes from 1956, that was the first time that came in, till 2018, 257th, if I can recall correctly. 270.
Yeah, it's 277. Yeah,
277. But 2018, that was the time that came. And you click on it, it will open the full. So browse is very simple. You select the topic, you select the subtopic, and whatever that you select in the subtopic gets appeared. This gets displayed on the next screen. That's about it. So browse is not a problem. Browse is just how it's like walk in the library. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So in the word search, let me just pull out any of the previous searches. What we tended to, we've already gone through the print that we can do. The true prints are available and all. In that, we also have one section, one important feature, that is the case compilation, which I think we should address too, where you can create your own folders here in SCC, and in that folder you can store certain documents in the form of, say, judgments of High Court, Supreme Court, or tribunals. So here I have this digest note on taxation. So I'll click on this first icon on the third column known as Add to my SCC Online folder, and by default it will show you my folder. And I'll click on Change Folder, select my folder, click on the bottom New Folder. It will create a new folder, and with the name of the institution, I'll just enter, and thereby it will get created. And then I'll click on Select Folder. Now the name has changed to University of Lucknow, and then I click on OK, and this particular digest note gets stored in that folder. Similarly, I go for the next document, like let's take this digest note and click on OK, because the folder remains the same. So it also gets added. I then move on to Supreme Court judgment and place this also in the same folder. So thereby maybe a notification or an article also can be added. What all different types of documents. Once that has been done, I mean, they have saved the documents. Then to retrieve them, you will just click on the adjacent icon, dashboard icon adjacent to dashboard, My SCC Online icon. In that you have this My Folders and View Folders option. You click on that View Folders, it will show me all the folders that I have created, and the latest one that I have created by the name of University of Lucknow is in front of me. It's also showing me the documents which I had added in that folder. So now so far we have just saved it on the cloud. It's being saved on the SCC Online server, but it will be only operated upon by your ID only, means with your credentials only. Now I will select the entire documents by clicking on this checkbox of result list. The documents get selected adjacent to the result list. This action icon, on the action icon there is an option, last option available by the name Create Case Compilation. I click on that and you can see the titles available over here. Now I want to change the sequence. I can use the move up, move down arrow keys, etc. Once they are placed in the order, then I'll click on the create button, which is on the bottom right. The moment I click on create, and the moment we are talking right now, in the background, the software has generated a case compilation for me. So it's just a matter of few seconds. Whereas if you had to compile it manually, say for your moot court, it would believe me take at least an hour or two, because while you take the printouts and you arrange them in order, then you manually put the paginations, page numbers on each and every page. That's automatically done by the software. So the first document has, the first section, table of contents, has a title and the page number. So from page number 1 to only 1, the first document, and from 2 to 5, the second document, and from 6 to 7, the third document. All these three are automatically, arranged here. Now in the second column, the second section is documents. I click on this pages numbers 1 to 7, and on the right hand screen I can now see the documents, and all those documents will be in sequence as per the table of contents. So it will be having the pagination and page numbering as appearing in the table of contents. So that is how this case compilation works. And while it's populating, let me just show you if I get it there. So yeah, here you can see that it's showing the page numbering on the top right in the square box. So page number 1, the first document, from 2 onwards, the second one starts till page 5, I think, and from 6 onwards, there is a new document. The last step is to download these 2 segments. You click on the download arrows in the second column for table of contents and documents. Then it gets downloaded in the My Downloads folders, maybe in your on your laptop or PC. From there, you take a print and just simply present it as a case compilation. All right. So with this, I think we have covered all the options.
Yes. So I think let's open this forum for questions so that
open the forum for questions. Yeah.
Yes. So if members have any questions, we can take it right now. And also, though we have tried to cover all the aspects of this particular website, but there will be certain things which you might be, think that you have it on your plate, and you think that this has not been answered. So I think this would be a good time you raise that question. Either you unmute yourself. Mr. Raina, can the attendees unmute themselves?
Yes, yes, they can.
Okay, great. So you can unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can put it in the chat and we'll pick it up from there. So yes, Mohit has already mentioned the way how you can reach out to us. There's an email address that is learning@scconline.com. That's the one common email for all the training members, the entire training department. And there's a toll-free number as well, so you can have a look at that. So what is that? 31st of May.
I've just shared one more link since on Saturday we have back-to-back sessions for University of Lucknow, and this one is for the batches of LLM and PhD on on Monday, coming Monday at 4 p.m. where
Okay.
where the students of LLM and PhD will be attending. So
So
whosoever,
second sem, Mr. Raina,
yeah,
second sem and fourth sem would not be interested in that. That's too advanced for them.
okay,
LLM and
all
PhD
right.
students would have a different search methodology that we'll be showing. Yesterday, we shared the link with them because the first sem, second sem, and third sem, it's almost near about. But
Though,
PhD students and all, their search would be totally different.
I understand.
Yeah.
Though the Dean sir had told me that LLB third year and second year also will be part of that, apart from the LLM and PhD.
Okay, good enough.
So,
So let's take the questions.
yes.
Sir,
Please go
Yes.
yes, sir. So the part in which you were explaining the overruling of a High Court judgment was not much clear. If you could please explain that once again.
What is not clear? Let's first understand that. What did you
Yes,
understand and what is something that you were still?
yes, sir.
Gaurav,
So
how
the
are you
part,
doing?
yes, sir. So the
How are you,
part that was
Gaurav?
unclear was when you went there, there were all the judgments which were overruled by the Supreme Court.
Uh,
Supposingly, I want to know about a particular judgment. For example, the judgment of Shirin Fahima versus State of Kerala. If I want to know about this judgment, then how can I know that whether this judgment was overruled by Supreme Court or not?
See, first of all, what we are showed in the High Court, those are not overruled judgments, those are reverse judgments. Okay, reverse judgments means that your case either it went to the higher court and it got overruled, or it got reversed, the decision got reversed, or the decision that the High Court has given on one case on the similar facts, the Supreme Court or the higher bench had a different view. So their view would be considered, more important than the High Court view. So that's why that is reversed. To reverse is something else, overruled is something else. But yes, the question that you had asked, that you want to talk about, you want to see if one particular case that you have, is that overruled or not? For that, we need to go to the find by party name. And Gaurav, you got to help us with the name of the party.
Yes, sir. So Shirin Fahima, Shirin Fahima, Faheema.
Shirin
Sir,
Fahima. There's some
sir, it's
spelling, okay,
Supreme Court.
which is okay. Shirin Fahima, there's got to be some change. Just search for Shirin, Mr. Rana.
Yes, we'll do that.
And just take Supreme Court itself. There is something with the spellings. Wait a sec.
Sir, if you could have Fahima first.
No, which is okay. Shirin Fahima, you say. Let me check on my end. Shirin Fahima. What is the full
Fahima
party
with
name?
double E. You can type Fahima.
What is the full name, Gaurav, of the case?
Yes, sir. Sir, Fahima Shirin.R.K versus State of Kerala.
Kerala.
Yes. Sir, it was not a Supreme Court judgment. It was
Yes, it was decided in the High Court of Kerala at Ernakulam.
So ठीक है. So let's go back and just write. No, Shireen is the same. Is that
Sir,
the one?
Shirin, sir, spelling थोड़ा सा Shirin का अलग है. So we can type Shirin as SH. Just a second. Let me tell you. SHIRIN and Fahima as in
Let's just leave.
FAH.
Just leave it. No, just that's okay. Let's just search with these two things.
And that
There we
is
go.
Yeah, here it is. We got it.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fahima. Yeah.
So see, wherever you're having a a doubt that Fahima would be a different spelling, just don't write those words. Write the words that you're sure of. So now this judgment is available over here. Now, Gaurav, answering your question, it's a High Court judgment. If I had been a Supreme Court judgment, I would have been telling you about the overrule part. But as far as this is a High Court judgment, that work that we just spoke about, that anywhere that the judgment has a different opinion, Supreme Court has a different opinion, it gets reversed. That's a manual work. So it will not happen on 100% judgments. There'll be few judgments which we be able to go back and do it, but there'll be few judgments which will not. But as you can see right now, this judgment doesn't look like it's an overruled judgment, because it's not a Supreme Court. If I had been a Supreme Court judgment, I would have been able to answer it clearly that's been overruled or not. As far as High Court is concerned, I don't know if it has been challenged in the Supreme Court or not.
Yes.
So,
So, but is there any way to know that whether this was challenged or not?
See, a lot of judgments it gets challenged in the Supreme Court, and they are appealed, and the cases are still going on. The problem with with the legal research is that you cannot cite any case which has been challenged in the Supreme Court and is still going under the trial. If let's suppose this case has been challenged in the Supreme Court and has not reached its finality, till that time this case will hold the ground. We cannot say that this case has been challenged in the Supreme Court. First of all, it is difficult for you to see that it has been challenged, because in SCC we do not include that kind of information that has been challenged or has been upheld. If it has been upheld, that means that the judgment has been decided by Supreme Court. You might get the information over here. But if it has been still challenged and the case is still going on, there is no way in SCC, and even in the Supreme Court, it's a bit lengthy process to find out if it has been challenged or not. So you won't be able to get it in the first place that easily.
Yes.
Gaurav,
Yes,
you were
this
there
answers my question.
in the yesterday meeting, right?
Yes, sir, I was there.
Yeah. Okay, let's take another question.
I guess there is none as of now.
Just give it a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. There we go. There's some chat.
Yeah. How can we know that some section of any act has been struck down or held unconstitutional?
Okay. So what do we do is the same. Mr. Anna, could you just open acts, bare acts, yes, browse bare acts. You can either go by browse bare acts or you can go by find case law by section and just search for in the filter. Search for excise. Search for central excise. Otherwise. So click on this one. Now, if you see Akash, this says that on the heading itself, it says repealed, right, on the left side. And if you see the document on the right side, Mr. Aina, could you take us on the top? On the right side, there's a red exclamation mark as well. So this works in the same fashion. What we said about overruled, any act, any section which gets repealed, this particular icon will come over there. But your question is about that a particular section of an act, if it gets repealed, then what? So I showed you from this way. Let me show you from another way. Mr. Aina, could you just go back to the find case law by section? And let's take IPC. That's good enough. Start search. And just take this British India for example. First, let's take British India. Section 15. Mr. Aina. Section 15 is right there. Yeah, double click on this. Now, British India, the word doesn't exist, right? So anything that has been overruled and repealed will come away. Now you would be saying that, oh, this is a judgment. Yes, it's a judgment, but if you see the left side column, it says acts as well. They say only acts. And this says over here, repealed. Similarly, anything that you see over here, and more, Mr. Rana, just one more time, just go back to the browse Bayer Acts and we show it from there as well. Because you want to see all the Bayer Acts, all the sections of the Bayer Acts have been repealed or not. Then let's go for IPC. There it is, penal code. And take the first head. And slowly scroll down, go to around 11th section number. And then from there, you can scroll down slowly. So there we have it. So Queen, servant of government, I think is still intact. British India, government of India. Then what else has been repealed? Nothing like this. And let's go to the next entry of 268 to 511. And let's get to 303, what Akash is asking for. Just do a control F, otherwise 303 if it's taking a lot of time. There it is. So there we have it. So it's in the red, punishment for murder by life convict, whoever being sentenced. Now there are superscripts to it. Now if you take your cursor on the superscript 336, 336, the one which is before 303. So it says struck down in Mithu versus State of Punjab, 1983. This is this. And the other one, 337, superscript, that says substituted by Act 26 of 1955, Section 117, and Schedule for Transportation for Life. So I hope, Akash, that answers your question. Let's move to the next question. Okay. So, Mr. Anna, over to you.
Yep.
You can conclude the session.
Thank you, Chetan. So if no further queries, I'll just conclude the session. And there's a help section also available over here in the form of a question mark. The help icon over here, you click on this view user manual. It will open a new page, help page, or you can say help center over here. There are some frequently read articles. If you want to know, say, for example, about the smart copy, you can click on how to smart copy and it will show you the example. It will illustrate it with an example. Likewise, if you have anything extra, anything else you want to look for, so say for example, I want to know more about the near operator, I can just type that over here and you'll give me the suggestions. Select one suggestion and you get the example on that particular topic. So it's kind of a help center that you have available embedded in the software itself. All right. So if Dean sir is there, so with his permission, we can conclude, or otherwise, Saurabh, you can just.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, Saurabh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if we just there are further no queries, then we can conclude this session. If
Yes,
Dean sir is there, with his permission, we can just conclude the session.
Sir, Dean sir is not available now.
Not around.
Yeah.
Fine, fair enough. No problem. So we'll just end the session. We'll just stop the recording, share it later on with you.
Sure,
And,
sir. Sure, sir.
I'll conclude this meeting for all. I once again thank you all for your time. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.